Welcome to another MTS Industry Channel production. It's Walrus time again, and today we're in Taichung, the heart of Taiwan's machine tool industry. Because Walrus Pump does not only manufacture in-house pumps at their headquarters in Taipei, but also has a wide range of models for industrial applications. And in the most recent history, the company has been awarded with several awards, amongst them the 2019 Potential Mittelstand Award and a total of 5 Taiwan Excellence Awards. Now the product that we want to showcase today, the TPRKE Series Immersible Pump, is the product that has gotten them their most recent Taiwan Excellence 2020 Award. Now let's find out a little bit more about the key features of the TPRKE series with Simon Yan, the manager of the sales department at Walrus. Simon, welcome back to the show.
How are you?
I am great, I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm great.
So you came all the way from Taipei down to Taichung today, right? For this show.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So we want to talk about industrial pumps today, especially the TPRKE series. But before we do that, maybe you can give us a short introduction to immersible pumps in general. What are immersible pumps?
Okay, the pump consists of two main components, the motor and the pump unit. The immersible pump is designed for mounting on the top of the tank, and the pump unit immersed in the liquid to be pumped. So the feature is safe space and easy installation and replacement.
Okay, so you save space, especially compared to horizontal pumps, right?
Yes.
And it's easier to install. Now, when we talk about the TPRKE series, we want to talk about the main features first. So give us a short introduction of the TPRKE series.
Okay, the first and most important feature is what we call DBT, drain bag tank design.
Drain bag tank, okay.
And this new double seal pump body structure can effectively ensure the liquid in the tank. So even if the shaft seal is broken and starts to leak, you don't even need to replace it for temporarily.
So basically it's kind of like a fallback mechanism that even if the seal is broken, it's leaking there, you still won't have any leakage into the machine, the machine tool itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So I could keep it running for a while, even if the seal is broken. I can still keep my machine running, keep my production going on. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, but after a while, probably I would have to replace it eventually, right?
Yes.
So then, when it comes to replacement, we also have another benefit of the TPRKE series.
Yeah, now we'll come to our second features. We use Cartridge Type shaft seals. It's much easier to replace compared to the general shaft seal. The shaft seal consists many parts, like stationary part, rotating part, spring, O-ring, and so on. But if you use Cartridge Type seal, you just need to replace one Cartridge Type unit.
Okay, so basically with this design, you combined all those small components into one cartridge, which makes it much easier to replace it, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I think we have a demonstration ready to show the audience out there how easy it actually is to replace that seal. So why don't we just do it? Roll it in. All right, Simon. So we see a lot of parts here. What are we seeing exactly?
Okay, so this part we want to show you. If you want to replace a general shaft seal, you have to take all this stage apart just for replace one shaft seal.
Okay, so we've got this shaft seal here, and I would have to disassemble all those parts and then reassemble all those small components for the seal, the conventional general seal.
Yes.
And now we want to compare that to the TPRKE series cartridge type shaft seal.
So here we want to invite our after sales manager, Charles Wu.
After sales manager Charles Wu, after sales manager here in Taichung, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you will also join us later for the Q&A session.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. But now we want to showcase the cartridge type shaft seal.
So first you have to remove the coupling guard first, and the second remove the motor.
Okay, you remove the motor.
You loosen up 3 of set screws.
All right.
Then you can remove the cartridge type seal.
Just got to unlock it with a tool. That's a standard tool. Everyone has this type of tool, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this took like a minute.
It will take a few minutes.
And there it is. Ta-da! So that's the cartridge, if you want, right? The seal.
Yeah, we also have a patent on this cartridge.
Okay, so this is patented. Okay, excellent. So this took us obviously a bit less than it would take in reality, because we have to unscrew this, unscrew some more screws, but a few minutes, 5 minutes.
Maybe 10 minutes.
Maybe 10 minutes. Okay, excellent. So that's it for the cartridge type, but we also want to talk about the motor of the TPRKE series, because obviously a motor is very important for every pump, for the pump performance especially.
Yes.
So why don't we just walk over to the TPRKE over here. So what can you tell us about the motor on the TPRKE series?
Okay, it's a ISU motor. So if you have watched our HQ videos, so you probably already know we have ability and we have equipment to develop our own high efficiency motors. And our laboratory also have TUV and TAF certificates, so we can make sure our test standard is exactly the same as global standards.
Okay, so you've got international standards, international quality standards, and you just mentioned the TEF and TÜV Nord certified laboratory, but I think we also have some certificates for this TPRKE series itself, right?
Yes, we also have a CE and RoHS certificates for electrical safety and hygienic water supply. We always focus on reducing the environment effects, and it's also our cooperative social responsibility.
All right, excellent. So very safe and environmentally friendly industrial pumps.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Simon, I think we've covered the basics of the TPRKE series, so thank you for that, but you will join us later during the Q&A session, right?
Absolutely.
And today we'll be answering questions, after-sales service questions regarding industrial pumps in general, but also, of course, about the TPRKE series.
Yes.
So again, thanks for being here today and talking about the TPRKE series, Simon, and see you later.
See you later.
Okay, bye-bye. And in our next segment, we want to take an even closer look at the TPRKE series and also compare it to other immersible pumps made by Walrus. And for this part, I will have a chat with Mark Lin from the marketing department at Walrus. Mark, also welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
So how are you doing? Ready to tell us?
Excited.
Feeling excited about talking about the TPRKE series?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. But before we talk more about the TPRKE series, why don't you give us an introduction to all your immersible industrial pumps?
Yeah, of course. So first, Walrus entered industrial pump with TPH, which is horizontal centrifugal pumps.
Okay, so it's a horizontal design, clearly.
Yeah, and also we manufacture and design the motor by ourselves since 1991.
Okay. And then we move on.
Comes to immersible pump, TPHK at 2003.
Okay, so that was the first immersible Walrus pump.
Yes, right.
All right.
And then now we have also a TPR at 2015. And that's a non-immersible vertical pumps.
Okay, so it's slightly different because obviously it's not immersible. And then we move on to the TPRKE series.
We have a TPRK, is a higher pressure version of TPHK, and it's with a drain back system.
Mm-hmm. And also the TPRKE, the E signifies?
Drain back system.
Okay, the drain back system. So that's the difference. The old version didn't have the drain back system, which is now implemented.
Yes.
Okay, and I think we also have a demonstration exactly for this prepared, right?
Yes.
So why don't we have a look at what we've prepared? Maybe while we are getting ready, what do we see here?
So there are two demonstrating pumps here with the broken seals.
Okay, so you've deliberately broke the seal,
Yep.
right? So we can see what happens when there's something wrong with the seal.
Yeah. So this one close to me is a TPRK, the old version.
Okay.
And the one close to you is a TPRKE.
Okay.
And we're gonna operate the pump and you see what's the difference.
So with the TPRKE, now we have the drain back tank design, right?
Yeah. So the TPRKE, you can see the water is spreading inside the water tank. It won't cause any mess around your machines or your system. And then we look at the TPRK, the old version, the water is leaking outside of the water tank. It will mess around your system and your machines.
Right, so with the old system, without the drain back tank, in such a situation, the water flows into the machine tool.
Yeah.
So you cannot keep on operating, you cannot keep on machining because water is leaking inside, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and with the TPRKE, it is contained within this tank.
Yeah.
Even though the seal is leaking, it's broken,
Yes.
so the water is leaking, but it's guided into the tank.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. I think we can turn it off now. So yeah, very clearly this upgrade is crucial because, like we mentioned earlier, if you run into this problem, before you would have to stop the machine, stop your production and fix the problem first.
Yeah.
Whereas with the TPRKE,
you don't have to change the pump right away, but you can change later.
okay, so you will maybe have a slightly lower efficiency, right?
Yeah, of course.
But you can still use it for the time being, and then once
Yes.
you're done with whatever machining job you're on,
Yep.
you can replace the seal.
Yes, right.
Okay, excellent. So now that we've talked about the TPRKE series and all its advantages, let's move on also to your customer services, because that's a crucial part of your job and also why customers choose Walrus. So maybe you can walk us through the process of helping them choose the right industrial pump, because we just saw you have a wide range of different pumps. So how do you help them find the one that meets their requirements?
So there are 4 important things to choose the right pump. First is like what type of pump. As we said before, there's a horizontal pump or you want a immersible pump. Mm-hmm. And second, you have to know what rated water pressure and flow you need. And third is the type of motor. And lastly is the dimension of the pump.
Okay, so basically 4 pillars, 4 main specifications that you will check, and then maybe you can already narrow it down to some models. But maybe you can give us some examples, some real life examples. What could this look like? So we've got those parameters, we've got those characteristics, and how do you help me choose the right pump then?
So in many cases, our customers don't know which pump they want to use. So first, I would recommend you to communicate with our sales team very closely. They are expert of pumps. For one example, like in machine tools, the spindle cooling system, the water pressure is a priority. So they usually choose the pump with 3 to 5 bars. In other cases, it would be 20 to 70 bars. And also in other cases, like at the bottom of the machine tools, there's a lot of metal particles and metal trash, which needs a bigger water flow to take them away. So usually you need about 1 bars.
Okay, higher pressure.
High water flow.
Higher water flow, sorry. I'm not the expert, you're the expert,
course.
that's why you are here. All right, so the Walrus team is always happy to pick the perfect pump for every individual customer. So what if I had someone, or maybe there is someone out there thinking, I've got multiple applications, or maybe I've got 2 different applications, but I'm going to use the same pump. Is that feasible?
Yes, it is feasible, but we don't recommend this because with a bigger motor and bigger pumps, it costs more budgets. And budgets the customer cares mostly about. So I recommend you to communicate with our sales team closely, and they will choose the best suitable pump for you.
Okay, excellent. That might be the TPRKE series or another immersible pump from Walrus. Now, I think we've covered the TPRKE series pretty much, but let's talk a little bit more about Walrus and the advantages of choosing Walrus as your pump supplier. So, as a member of the marketing team, Mark, why should I choose Walrus? Sell it to me.
So first, we have a short lead time, and we have 30 days of lead time that after you place the order to us. And second, we have a competitive price. And third, we have a tremendous production and quality control. We test 100% of our pumps before we deliver to our customer and to make sure they have a perfect fine pump.
Okay, perfect. Mark, thank you very much so far, but you will join us as well for the Q&A session later on, right?
Yeah, right.
And we'll be talking about some common issues that some of your customers run into with industrial pumps. And of course, we'll deliver the answers and tell everyone how to fix those.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll see you later. And we have one more part before the Q&A session where we want to talk about other applications for immersible pumps made by Walrus. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back shortly. Okay, and now it's time to introduce my next guest today, Mr. James Huang. James, come over here. James, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Camille. Happy to be here.
And I'm happy that you are here because we want to talk a little bit more about your industrial pumps. Now, in this segment, even though James's English is pretty good, but when it comes to some technical terms, it might get a little bit tricky. So he has decided that he'll be answering my English questions in Chinese, but we have subtitles for you, so you'll understand everything that James is saying. Now, James, you are the sales manager here in Taichung. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your position, about your work, about your job here.
是的，我在台湾这边是负责台中的那个业务部的经理。那我在这边公司已经将近待了20年。那期间呢，主要是刚进公司的时候，主要是在维修服务和业务兼任的工作同时进行哦。所以我在这个过程中会学习比较多直接现场的一些经验。那在现场经验，在之后的业务销售这一块，会比较大的帮助是可以在客人那边帮他选到比较正确的泵浦，用在他比较对的位置。因为往往常常遇到的问题是说，客人买的东西事实上不见得是他要的，所以我们会在这样子的经验累积，让客人可以在比较短的时间内选到他要的东西。
Okay, excellent. Now, if you watched the first episode, you will know that the headquarters of Walrus is up in Taipei, close to Taipei, but we're in Taichung now. And from what I understand, this branch here was established because Walrus wanted to extend their product portfolio to industrial pumps, right? Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
是的，我们台中公司目前主要是负责工业用泵浦的销售和售后服务。那因为我们这一次的主题是工具机的部分。那工具机在台湾来说，主要的居多是落在台湾的中部和南部。那在中部来说，其实大部分还是在中部啦哦。那但是在中部来说，我们会这个据点会比较直接能服务到我们大概会有90%的居多在这个位置，所以它可以很直接服务在这个区的客户。那当然南部的客群也可以跟北部的客群哦是会最直接，因为它是在中部直接往上下延伸。
All right. So the perfect location here in Taichung to provide perfect after-sales service to all customers all around Taiwan, no matter where they are. Now today we've been mainly talking about the TPRKE series here, and we mentioned quite a few times, and you just did as well, that this pump is especially suitable for the machine tool industry, for machine tools, but I know that you also have other types of immersible industrial pumps for other applications, right?
是。因为这部分没有错，净水式的产品主要是用在 TPHK， 像 TPHK、TPRK、TPAK、TPK 这系列净水式的产品，我们主要的销售对象是在工具机跟它的周边市场。那当然，其他的产业呢，像我们的 TPR、TPH 陆上型跟卧式的泵浦，它可以去用在其他的产业。我举例来说，像 RO 的水处理的系统，好像热交换系统，像一般的商用的空调系统。锅炉液、清洗机，像洗车机类的清洗机哦，或者是我们一些整场的比较输送远端的或者高压的送水的系统。
Okay, so a wide range of applications in different types of industries, but now we want to showcase your capabilities in the machine tool industry, or the capabilities of your pumps for the machine tool industry. We want to talk to two of your long-term customers, Youji and Tongtai, right? You've been working for quite a while with them, right?
是。
And both Youji and Tongtai are renowned manufacturers of machining centers, lathes and other machine tools, as well as automation solutions here in Taiwan. And we want to start with Youji's Mr. Brian Wu from the sales and marketing department there. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Hey, hello, Brian.
Hi, James. How are you?
Hey, so Brian, first question, why don't you talk a little bit about your relationship with Walrus? What have your experiences been like?
We work with Walrus Pump for past 40 years. It is a long-term relationship, so it's quite good for us.
So what type of machines do you use Walrus pumps on?
We use the Walrus Pump on our products such as vertical turning lathe, horizontal turning lathe, and vertical and horizontal machining center.
Okay, so a wide range of different machines. So you must know their products very well by now. So what was the main reason why Youji chose Walrus pumps over other competitors?
Why we choose the Walrus Pump? Because their quality is very good, as after service is great, and the most important thing is the price is reasonable. So this is why we choose a Walrus Pump on our products.
All right, so basically three main reasons: quality, then the after-sales service, and of course a very competitive price, right?
Yes.
All right, Brian, thank you very much for joining us for this short interview.
Thank you so much.
All right, see you later, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Okay, and we move on to Tongtai. Mr. Sunny Young from Tongtai should be on the line now. Sunny, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, excellent.
How are you,
Welcome to the show and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, so Tongtai has been working with Walrus for quite a while already, right? For how long exactly?
We work with Walrus is around 30 years.
Oh, 30 years. Okay, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So you must know a lot about their products and about the company, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we all know the Walrus from the Walrus company logo. So what is your impression of the brand Walrus, and what does Walrus, the company and the brand, stand for?
Walrus is famous. So not only the excellent quality and after service, but also the innovative R&D.
All right, so excellent quality, after-sales service, and R&D and innovations are the keywords here.
Yes.
All right, so I have one more question for you, Sunny. It's a slightly unusual one. So if we imagine Walrus was a person, how would you describe that person, the personality?
I'd like to say positive, optimistic, friendly, and kind.
Okay, positive, optimistic, friendly, and kind. Nice to hear that, James, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
So, but it's not only about the personality. When it comes to the products, I hope your experience has also been this, that Walrus is very professional.
Yeah, my opinion is built by roads, pay attention to the detail.
All right, paying attention to details. That's very important, obviously, especially in the manufacturing industry. Sunny,
Exactly.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you too.
Okay,
You're welcome.
see you later. Bye-bye.
See you, bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
All right, those were two customers of Walrus here in Taiwan, but don't go anywhere. We're coming back with a Q&A session very soon. And here we are with today's Q&A session, and as you can see, I'm being joined by Mark, Simon and Charles, whom we saw earlier today during the Cartridge Type shaft seal demonstration. Charles is the after-sales manager for Walrus here in Taichung. Charles, maybe you also introduce yourself real quick to the audience.
Hi everyone, I'm Charles Wu. As you mentioned coming up, I am responsible for after-sales service. I have been working for Walrus for over 19 years.
19 years, wow, that's a lot of experience with industrial pumps. So it's perfect that you are joining us because we want to answer some of the most common issues people run into with industrial pumps. So let's get right to it. Now, the first question has to do with leakage. So Charles, what are the main causes of mechanical seal leakage and how can I solve it?
Actually, mechanical seal leakage is quite a common problem of pumps. Then why does it happen? There are two possibilities. One is the pump is running without liquid. Another reason might be the liquid or coolant contamination. For example, by metal filings or machining chips. We strongly suggest the users to always ensure that there is enough and clean liquid in the tank.
Okay, so it sounds pretty simple to just make sure that there's enough liquid, but apparently some people tend to forget about it. So what do you recommend? How often should I be checking that my liquid is that it's enough liquid and that it's clean?
I would suggest at least 1 day, 1 time.
Okay, so every day, whenever you are using it, whenever you're having some machining operations, at the end of the day, make sure that there's enough liquid still in the tank,
yes.
in the pump system. All right. Now another issue some users run into is an unsteady pump performance. You don't get the 100% that you would expect from a Walrus pump. So what might be the cause for this?
Yes, if the pump performance is not stable, there is basically two main possibilities. A, there might be not enough liquid in the tank.
Again, not enough liquid, so always check your tank for enough liquid. Okay.
Two, another reason, maybe some air trapped in the suction or the discharge line. So in this situation, you have to add liquid into the tank and or release the vent valve to get the air out.
All right, so if there's not enough liquid, you need to refill it. And if there's air trapped inside of the pump, you need to get it out, and then the pump should get back to 100% pump performance, right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Now, another issue some people run into, it sounds very simple, but still people are having trouble with fixing it. The pump is running, you can hear that it's running, but there is no water, there's no water flow. What could be the reason for that, Simon?
First, I will check a water supply, and then I will check a pump inlay is blocked by something like machine chips. And make sure always check the water level is not too low, because the dry run will probably make the shaft seal damage. So if you are worried about the leakage, you can choose our TPRK E series. Is your best solution.
Okay, best solution because you have the double seal and you have the drain back tank, right?
Yes.
Okay, so another thing when it comes to pumps and motors in general, you don't want overheating, you don't want too high temperature. So what if I bought one of your pumps and that's exactly what I'm experiencing, overheating? What could be the reason for that and how do I fix that?
Probably the voltage is too low or the viscosity of liquid is too high, because some customers they will add some coolants and lubricants, so that will probably cause the viscosity make too high.
Okay, so you have to be very careful and you have to know what kind of coolant or liquid you add, because that might also affect the motor performance and the pump performance.
Yes.
All right. And another quite common issue that you get in the after-sales service inquiries is that the user installs the pump in the wrong way, so the rotation direction is wrong, because I think every pump is different, so sometimes it's clockwise, sometimes it's anti-clockwise, right?
Yes, because if rotation direction is wrong, then it might influence the pump performance. And because it's dependent on the pump, some pumps they are designed for the clockwise, some pumps for anti-clockwise, like TPRK E series is anti-clockwise.
Okay, so the TPRK E is anti-clockwise, so that's very important when you're installing. So how do I prevent this mistake? I just pay attention to the instruction manual first of all, right?
Yes, but we also have a sticker on the frame covers.
Okay, to make sure that people assemble it the right way or install it the right way.
Yes.
All right. Now, what about low pressure? Some people might experience low pressure while the water supply is positive. So what's going on there, Mark?
Yeah, so usually you're facing the low pressure is because your system need more pressure than the pump you actually choose. So the best answer is to choose the right pump with the right pressure.
Okay, so maybe some people might use your pump initially on the right machine, and then they think, oh, now I need a pump for a different machine, I'll just use it on that one. But as you mentioned, for different applications you need a specific pump, so that might be the reason why they run into such a problem, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Now, what about the mating phases for the mechanical seal? There are different materials, and sometimes people are asking, so what kind of material can I choose, or what should I choose?
Yeah, so we have a different mating phases of material. We have silicon carbide, tungsten carbide, and carbon. And the secondary we have EPDM, Vitam, and HMBR. The different application will need a different option of materials.
Okay, so again, it depends on the applications.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have one more question which might seem very simple and maybe funny for some people out there, but it actually is an issue for some people. So the pump, I plugged it in, it should be running, but nothing's happening.
Yeah, thank you for bringing out this question, because this happens a lot.
Okay.
For example, it's happened in TPRK or other industrial pump. You have to make sure the voltage is right.
All right. Well, that's it for the Q&A session today. But before we end the show, Mark, why don't you sum up one more time the key features of the TPRKE series immersible pump?
Yep. So TPRKE, we have a Cartridge seal, also efficient motor, and most importantly, we have a drain back system. So TPRKE is a customer-oriented product, and WALRUS is an expert of water pump. If you have anything need a problem with a water pump or your machine tools or your system, you can contact us with email or give us a call.
That's right. If you have any questions about the Taiwan Excellence 2020 winner, the TPRKE immersible pump from WALRUS or other WALRUS products, contact them anytime. The team is happy to help and to give you suggestions for what type of pump to choose. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you out there for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.